All right. Welcome back to KTV. That is Night Television, everybody. I am your host, Cowboy C-Pop. And yes, this is Night Television, and please like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you like this sort of content. And if this should help just one person, you are really in the right place. Okay? Um, hope everybody's doing well. Why do I have this? Oh, pardon me. Today, we're here to talk about the Timber Rattler, Rattler Western Outlaw Bowie knife, otherwise known as the TR-65. Okay, we're going to go back in time to about 2018-19. All right, I was on a huge timber rat kick. I had purchased this blade and I was over the moon. And it kind of looked a lot like this one, right? It really did. Uh, this one I don't really use, it's just for collecting purposes, but there's a point to this video. So, don't. Number one, you see, there's a lot of pros and cons with this knife. Number one, yeah, this needs a better edge, all right? I think I can do it, all right? I noticed when I was, applying oil to it and all that stuff that the edge is chippy, all right, rigidy. Is yours like that? But once I get, around to it, I'll put a nicer edge on it. I'm in no immediate rush. As I said, this is just for collecting purposes only. So now we're going to go back in time. For those that have been following me since 2019-20, I had done a video on this, and then about 2 years later, I did another video. I was really disappointed because of all the rust that appeared on my Timber Rat Western Outlaw. It was an eyesore, right? So I cleaned it, right? I kind of made it look like it was brand new again, but I did my best, okay? And it was okay. So basically, I oiled it up, I put it away with the rest of my timber rats. All right, stay with me on this. A couple weeks ago, most of my knives are put away in a storage unit. All right, this box of timber rattlers have been in my shed now for like 2.5 years underneath a bunch of like Christmas decorations. I had no idea. All right. I thought they were all in the storage unit. So the first thing I did was I whipped out my original timber rattler. Now remember, I had cleaned it up and I got, I'd say, 90% of the rust and sheath stain off of it. Oiled it up, put it back in the sheath, and put it with the rest of my rats. Look at this. 2 years. Look at this. So now I'm really upset. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Now I'm afraid to look at the rest of my timber rats. I'm afraid to look at them. Well, you know what? Much to my surprise, the sheaths could use some polishing, cleaning, conditioning. But here we go. I call this one Alabama. This has been in there for the same amount of time. Just needs to be cleaned, right? Same amount of time. But I'm not going to go through them all. Let me just show you, just a few. I love this one right here. All right, these have all been in their sheaths since, I don't know, 2017, 18, 19. I love this knife. This might be my favorite timber rat. This is the TR67. Now this one's made of the surgical steel, right? It's a gorgeous knife. Just needs a little cleaning and perhaps a new sheath. Let's just do a couple more. What's this old Pakistani knife here? All right. Again, all right. They have held up, I'd say, pretty well over the years, being stored in their sheaths. So what in God's name is wrong with the Western Outlaw? Here's another one. Let's see. Dirty sheath needs to be cleaned. So now I got to go ahead and clean all these sheaths, clean all the blades again, but none of them are as dramatic as this. And I even clean this one back up. Coat of oil, the whole 9 yards. Is that not an eyesore or what? All right? It's horrible. Now, how many of you out there, yeesh, I won't even cut paper. That will not even cut paper. So, how many of you out there were absolutely over the moon excited to receive your Timber Rat Western Outlaw, left a 5-star review, and then like a year later, update that 5-star review with, yo, what's with all the rust? What's going on? All right. Now, this is just basically, I call it a novelty knife. All right. You know, if you're not a collector and you only have one or two knives, there should be no excuse, no reason for you not to maintain it. All right. Oil it when not in use. Do not store it in the sheath. All right. Put it back in its original box, and you should be golden. All right. Me, on the other hand, um, I have been using this mineral oil here by Citadel. I just put a couple of drops on there. I wipe it in. It's like an eyedropper. I wipe it on in there and wipe it down. And this is how it gets stored in an old sock. Right? I just throw it on it in there like so, and I put it back in its box. Right? And I even put the sheath back in its, plastic wrap. That's how you preserve your Timber Rat Western Outlaw. Guys, I've had buck knives for 40 some years. They've never, ever been stored away from they're always in them. And they still look like they were bought like that day. It's unbelievable. All right. So the Western Outlaw is absolutely one of the best selling Bowie knives on the planet. All right. And I think most people do buy it just for, hey, look at this. Some have chopped with it, some have actually used it. But yeah, if not careful, you're going to run into some problems. So, you know, is this more of a public service announcement? Probably. All right. So, you know, angers me. Angers me. So yeah, this one stays in its box. All right. So I don't want to keep repeating myself. But look at that. Has this happened to you yet? Has it? As I said, I cleaned the hell out of it. Got most of that staining off, but now look at it. Year and a half, 2 years later. Unbelievable. So listen, I got my work cut out for me. I'm going to try to preserve the rest of these as much as I can. I have probably another 7 or 8 in this box here. All right. I have a lot of timber rats. But yeah. And it's stainless steel. As I said, that edge is all jacked up, brand new, because I don't use it. But it does look good. About 16.5 inch overall with about an 11-inch blade, brass handguard. Take care of it. All right, I just wanted to share that with you. That's definitely an eyesore. About 30, 40 bucks, but look, these were all 30, 40 bucks, and they've held up so well, in the same environment. Is this the biggest ripoff on the planet? This is just absurd. It's absurd, and that should never have happened. All right, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Let me get about my day, and hey, here's to the Western Outlaw. Have fun with yours. Leave in the comments. Did yours rust up, or were you smart enough to take care of yours a little bit better than I did? All right, guys. Take care. Any questions, leave it in the comments. See you soon.